Oh my God, do I got enough energy for part two right now as it is? Good Lord, I'm out of it. The Zombie Weaver from Roseland, California. Not alive, not awake. I sure as hell not here. It's 2:43 in the morning, Tuesday. Still the 12th? I'm losing it. It's the 13th. My God, I can't even see. Anyway, morning Daryl again, part two. I'll send these damn things out with. Well, I'm not gonna do a Disney Beatles song on this one here. Yeah, I know you're talking about concerning about Ron DeSantis and on the protesting having over at Walt Disney World. And I was trying to get explanations going on. So let me see if I can get into the legal stuff. I know I'm not a guru at anything. I'm not lettered academia, but it's what I've learned all throughout my life at this point. Freedom of speech is a delicate thing to deal with, and it's also a sledgehammer. We don't like hate speech because it shows us the horrible negative thoughts that we can spew out and scare the hell out of people and feel like we're in control and power when actually we're harming people left and right. And it's the reason why we got limitations on the freedom of speech at this point over here because we have hate laws. We have hate laws. And if it can be proven, they're going. They're going to be going into the court systems. They're going to be proven that they are of malice. There is no absence of malice. We're showing that there is malice. And therefore, we are going to demonstrate that they're wrong and have to be proven that way. Skokie, Illinois brought this back because this is a test of the First Amendment for me, of how much hate speech can go. As I tried to explain to other people what it tries to do in other videos. Let me see if I can do this again. Okay, so Skokie, Illinois, back in the mid 70s, they did a document series later on in the 70s to 80s on this one. And you had American Nazi Party wants to go into a neighborhood of Jewish immigrants and relatives, multi generations in there, and they want to just harangue their crap out of them because this is what they do, being pain in the asses. So these vitriol-filled people, this, uh, I mean, there is no good, accurate description for these cockroaches. Case goes all the way over to the Supreme Court. They are telling people that they have a right to do this. They absolutely have a right to protest. You can't take that away from them. And the Supreme Court said, yeah, the Constitution says that you have a right to protest. Yeah, before you're having a conniption fit at this one here, Daryl, understand the Constitution itself and also the implications here. First Amendment protects us from reprisals from the government of any level of what we're trying to protest against. Unless, of course, we're going to be doing in our current standard right now hate speech left and right, that we are going to be uh, protesting violently to go against people. But if it's non-violent, they won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Back then, these guys wanted to do the violence. But here's the catch. They had the right. The cockroaches had the right to do this. But it was left up to the state and local of where and when and how. Okay, so if I'm going to be turning into some kind of cockroach at this point over here, and I want to crawl right into your neighborhood, I'll probably wear something of a vitriol shirt of an angry, frustrating, egotistical shirt that I think would give me the emotional edge over you. And I would say mean and ugly things outside with my shirt and a sign protesting in your street, going up and down, even towards your church, and screaming and yelling. Hell, I'd be like Westboro Baptist Church at that point. Good Lord. I could use them for an example, but I don't want to use myself as an example. So, okay. Um, I'm myself right now as it is. But I'm an angry, mean guy here. And I'm looking at you, and I'm thinking, I gotta go against people like you. So, Daryl, this is me being angry and mean and saying all sorts of ugly things towards you and your family and your friends and everything else because I want to make sure I rattle your cage a great deal. And I'm going to go out in the public street over here and I'm going to protest and I'm going to scream and yell my head off at you. And I don't care about what your neighbors are saying. I'm going to yell and scream in their faces as well because I think I'm doing a mean, nasty, ugly job over here of pissing people off and making people upset. And this cockroach is going to do this, and this cockroach is just going to say that, and I'm going to be chanting, and I'm going to be crazy at this point over here. But do I have a weapon on me at this point? Do I have a weapon on me to prove my belligerence versus yours? My power versus yours? My arrogance? My control over you? My controlling your fear and your anger and turning you into another cockroach? I will push you over the edge with my words, and I will yell and scream in the face. But if I'm going to do something rather nasty to you in a violent form that may or may not capture the attention of those insipidous and treacherous, ignorant badges out there, you will not replace me. So this is the kind of thing that the Jewish neighborhood of Skokie, Illinois was afraid of dealing with during those days. And they were disappointed that the federal government said they had a right. But the thing is, the state and the local had control of putting them miles away from their target at a certain time and a certain day, and they controlled it. They maneuvered them into that situation. And they didn't like it. They protested. We got a right to do this. Yeah, you got a right to do this right over here. But that's not fair. That's not fair for us. How dare you do that to us? We are the weirdest party out there who's going to be controlling fear and paranoia from everybody else. We want that spread. Spread it right over here. Spread that manure over here. We could use some trash over here. No! City and the county told him to go to himself. Nothing much was heard about those assholes after that. I mean, they protested, but that was about it. But nobody else was getting hurt on that damn thing. But you also had Charleston. Okay? You had Charleston happening at that point. And Charleston, unfortunately, the law enforcement allowed the damn thing to happen because of the federal constitution of the First Amendment rights. Now, if they actually did any violence, it's another thing. But if it was technically peaceful enough where they're not damaging anything, they really couldn't be held against them until they started doing damaging of property or damaging of bodies. Then they get them. Then they would get them. That's the thing what our Constitution would allow. That's one of the ugliest damn things out there that they still allow. Now, the private entities out there can probably regulate to a point, or tell a person that you can't wear that shirt that has that offensive thing on there. Mainly because they're looking for the pocketbook is at the point over here, not to mention public safety, not to mention the private safety of their employees. Let's just say if I came in and said with a shirt on here, said everyone's a scumbag, and started acting belligerent, yelling and screaming at an employee, comes over here saying, "Can I help you?" Ah, scumbag! Of course, now you're harassing and threatening the person right there. That you can't do because there are laws. But we are talking about Florida, who's taken away that kind of situation. They're pissing off. They're okay. They're pissing off the cops left and right. The ones who actually care about law and order. They're getting their hands tied because of Governor Sanctimonious. It's that kind of situation that we're facing these days. It's not. It's not the easiest thing, and it's an ongoing assault. It's assault on everybody. Anybody who's decent and thinks decent, or who's theoretically decent. Now, me marching into your town right now, as I am, it's one thing if I'm going to be doing a rivalry between colleges across the state. If I happen to go up to Connecticut here, and I happen to go outside into your neighborhood, and I'll be screaming it out. Antelope Valley College of Lancaster, California is better than any of you slugs out there who go to colleges because we are liberalism. We are better. We have this education program. We got this. We got that. And we are better in our athleticism. You guys are a bunch of wimps. Of course, that's politely saying it. And what would happen during that time? Maybe I'd get the cops over here saying, "What the hell are you doing?" "I'm exercising my First Amendment rights by being in a public area over here and screaming and yelling how my school is a lot better than these guys." It's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're going to wake these guys up. You know we got laws and we got ordinances at this time that you can't be disturbing the peace. I got a right to say this. And I'm not harassing them. I'm telling them point blank. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You really don't want me to do the paperwork on this, now do you? Get out of here, you bum. You're from that other school, aren't you? You're a graduate. Okay, that's it. Put the handcuffs out. Get your wrists. We'd get you hooked up. Of course, I'd be arrested during that time because I'd be breaking laws and ordinances, disturbing the peace, possibly 5150. They would have to put me in a drunk tank or keep an eye on me for about 72 hours just to see what the hell's going on. And if they find out that I'm actually a college student doing a protest or actually a visual and verbal taunt to your state, to your local areas, telling you that my school is a lot better because it's got this, it's got that, and it's got that. That's one thing. Not exactly considered hate speech. But if I happen to put up a targeted individual, and I happen to put up the colors that usually piss people off more: red border, the white inset, and the picture of, let's say, your governor. Let's just say. And I'm going to be, Daryl, insulting the living crap out of you. I'm going to make your governor into a caricature of face put on a cockroach's body and say that this is your state government and nothing but a bunch of cockroaches. How would that make you feel? Honestly, just how would that make you feel? Embarrassed? Freaked out? Pissed off? The most polite way I could try putting this thing, for an example. You're going to be dabbling into the political realm at this point over here. You really got to get some colorful metaphors at this point over here. But me, I was dealing with the literature for a hell of a long while in my lifetime. So yeah, I can draw upon experiences of saying and trying to put things into a dramatic perspective here. And no, I never had. Well, actually, I had limited drama or theater experience, but I'm not chasing it. I'm not chasing it. I don't want to chase it. I'll just be me. But I wouldn't be me if I happened to go out and go to your particular state with the colors and say that you suck. Everybody in your state sucks. Here's the face of your cockroach leaders, your beloved characters. Character assassination. I think somewhere the state and federal's also got something about that one, but they're usually going through civil court on that one. Not the criminal, but the civil. Because now you're going against, now you're doing civil rights issues at this point, or actually character assassination. And not exactly considered criminal, but maybe, if you're really going in for it in the first place. Some things I really got to study up on. If I actually wanted to cross into the land of law and be a lawyer, am I late age in life? Nah, not really. So you're talking about DeSantis, you're talking about his allowing of the vitriol, and that's the figurehead. You're not looking at the engine. You're not looking at the drive system at this point over here. You're looking at the damn icon sitting at the front of the vehicle here. You're not looking at the engine and what's powering the damn thing. Where's the fuel at in this vehicle of hatred here? And how is it being supported? You're supporting by the damn voters who are getting conned. They're getting conned. They're getting brainwashed. They're allowing it to happen. If there's not enough resistance happening here, if there's not enough resistance happening in the state of Florida, then it's going to continue to spread like a damn cancer. Because we're seeing Germany being popped up all over again. But there was a differences between Germany back in the 1930s compared to us. See, we still had to fight our way decade after decade, generation after generation to get to a point where civil rights were just on the cusp of becoming, the regular thing that we have that covers everybody. That there shouldn't be any problems with our civil rights, that we understand what the hell it is for rights for everybody. It doesn't matter who and what the hell they are or what age. It's for everybody. Unfortunately, you got this elitism going on at this point over here, allowing all this damn hatred and vitriol. Because they feel like they're the ones who want to be in charge and not the other schmucks. And yeah, this has been an ongoing situation ever since mankind tried to form his own damn government. And I'm not just talking about the United States, I'm talking about all over. The reason why I kept going to college in my later adult age and I was taking a hell of a lot of history classes because I wanted to learn human behavior. I wanted to learn why. I took political science classes, I took history classes. And I wanted to understand. I wanted to understand. I mean, 30 years watching all this damn stuff, but I still wanted to get the academia behind my throat. I wanted to get the basics. I wanted to see it firsthand. I wanted to see it in classroom, in laboratory experiments. I wanted to see it on paper. I wanted revelations at this point. I'm getting more and more of the damn thing these days. I'm trying to go for an English literature at this point over here because I think easiest damn thing we get through college. But if I happen to get to history, then I'm really going to be digging deep into everyone else's historical stuff, and I'm not quite sure how much grant money is going to be allowed to me to continue this experiment just at the AA level, the Associated Arts. Because above that, you got your Bachelor of Arts, and then after that, you got your Master's, and you got your PhD. And by that time, you're pretty damn broke on everything. You owe everybody, including the existence of the universe, just to get to that level. I don't know if I'm going to be living long enough during that time. But for right now, I'll be happy enough just to get in, just to get the bargain basement, just to get the first rank, okay? So that's my level. But I don't like seeing what's going on these days. Who does? No one likes to go to Walt Disney World and see this damn crap happening in the first place. And the thing is, if it is, Walt Disney World allowed it. They allowed it. If they had a problem concerning about First Amendment rights at this point over here, if they denied them that, it's kind of one-sided. But they don't want that vitriol on their property. I mean, on the outskirts is one thing. But they sure as hell didn't want that cancer linking in, but it was already too late. They should have done something about it, but they didn't. So they're going to have to, the upper management's going to have to deal with this one. But for the rest of us looking at this stuff, we're doing exactly what we should be doing about this. Discussion, discussion, discussion. Why? Because the more we discuss about it, the more we learn more about ourselves at this point over here, and the more we're telling ourselves, we really don't need this crap down, do we? I can make up all the damn cutesy examples right now as it is, but it's still uglier than shit. And I will use language. I don't care about the zeros and ones on them. At this point, I'm going to be hitting the sack because I need to get a couple more hours of sleep before my body and my brain explode. So, if you don't mind, I will talk at you later, Daryl, artist in recovery. And you try and have a nice, awesome day. I'm just going to try to see if I can have a survivable one without the damn... Well, there goes another one. I was trying to flick them off and trying to... I just got murdered, another one. I hate this shit. Dude, I don't know if you ever actually had a bug war going on constantly, but I had a discussion with our exterminator yesterday. They're getting entrenched, the bugs and sores, the exterminators. It's going to be a long year. Holy crap.